Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter-in-law she showed us who she really was on her wedding day? I'm the father of her children. In May, my son Neil got married to Debbie. Debbie acted terribly the whole day. Straight up entitled and embarrassing. My oldest daughter was 3 months pregnant and hadn't told anyone because she has already had 1 miscarriage. She was barely showing and Debbie picking a tight-fitting bridesmaid dress. My daughter was super sick from morning sickness and Debbie told her she looked disgusting and stopped taking attention off of her. My son, who was best man to the groom, his brother had his wife seated with some cousins across the room at the reception and not at the family table because she wasn't immediate family. We did not know this until the reception and tried to have her moved back with our table and Debbie said no, it's her day. It caused a fight and the best man just left before the reception because his wife was snubbed. A few days after the wedding, my daughter miscarried again while Debbie and Neil was on their honeymoon. Debbie felt like that was attention-seeking. My wife, children, and spouses normally rent a house by the beach for Labor Day, and because of continued bad blood between Debbie and the rest of the family, they aren't invited. All 3 of my other children basically said if Debbie comes, they aren't going. So Debbie and Neil got the axe. When Neil asked about it, I told him Debbie showed us who she really was on her wedding day and don't expect many invites from the rest of the family to do things. Neil was pissed and saying it's not fair that she is feeling left out because she saw on social media where all the girls, including the snubbed Sil, her mother, and my wife went to Barbie movie dressed in pink, and she felt left out. Now he has to tell her she can't go to the annual beach vacation and she's feeling hurt. I told him not one person in the family wants Debbie there and I'm sorry that she can't come. My son had me on speaker and Debbie started crying, say she can't believe how horrible we are and she wasn't going to go anyways and don't expect to see her at Thanksgiving or Christmas ever again. I lost my temper at Debbie and I told her the rest of the family would be relieved to hear it. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she shouldn't come to my wedding if she refuses to wear a bridesmaid dress? Hi, I'm planning a lovely bridesmaid entourage for my wedding consisting of my beautiful sister and cousins. We are all on very good terms. Today I told my sister I thought of navy blue dresses for bridesmaids. I sent her a couple pics very enthusiastically. I thought it's elegant, matches with the suits and gives a nice pop to the white wedding dress on pics. The response from my sis was instant. You can't be serious. I won't wear that. Everyone will hate that. Or is it that you want all of us to look like shit? I heard there are weddings where the bride wants to make bridesmaids look intentionally bad. That's probably your plan. She said her color type is autumn and navy looks the worst on that complexion. My cousins, she said, are also autumn and I will make them look the worst too. After my heart sank, I started looking for alternate colors on this season's color wheel thing. I sent her a couple of alternatives suggested. Different deep blues. She replied that she then doesn't want to be my bridesmaid but wants to be pretty. She would attend all the getting ready with the girls but won't wear the matching dress. I read this happens in bridal parties. There is usually one difficult person. The suggestion is to ask them to step down as bridesmaid. For me, it obviously didn't come to that as my sis stepped down without discussion. Her POV is that I should care about people feeling good at my wedding and I don't have much empathy. I cried for a bit, then I told my sister honestly that after this I will have a sad and angry feeling every time I'd look at her at the wedding. In her pretty dress, being satisfied with herself at my expense. And maybe it's best if she's not there then. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law to stop acting like the victim at my wedding, though she was arguably the victim? I got married last night. Due to everything going on right now, it was very small and just family. My husband has an older half-sister who he has a good relationship with, and it was important to him that she was there. I was a little worried that it would cause drama because Mill and her stepdaughter do not get along. They were friends in college. The two of them have a really crazy history and I don't understand why they don't go no contact. But they are both huge drama queens. So maybe they enjoy it. We fed each other the cake nicely and some people were booing because we didn't smear it. So sister-in-law grabbed a piece and smeared it on mother-in-law. Cue absolute hysteria. Sister-in-law had to leave and mother-in-law was crying and making a big deal about it. Father-in-law gave no shits and was literally licking it off of her neck right in front of us. An hour later, she was still whining and making a big deal of it. Now father-in-law is a huge asshole who likes to push people's buttons, and my husband and his brother were very mischievous growing up. I feel like this is not the first time she had cake smeared on her. She was being very dramatic and I could hear her because it was such a small wedding. I finally told her to stop acting like a victim and she gave me the worst look and legit didn't speak the rest of the night. Am I the a-hole for refusing to speak to mother-in-law and canceling our wedding? I 35 female and fiance 30 male are considering canceling our wedding and eloping instead because of mother-in-law. Mother-in-law has never tried to have a positive relationship with me. She makes sure I'm not included in conversations, belittles my achievements, and talks down to me. Things escalated when I was planning fiance's 30th. Mother-in-law fought me on every detail and accused me of not knowing my fiance at all. I planned a golf weekend away for him and his family. He loves golf. Fiance confronted mother-in-law and asked why she doesn't like me. Mother-in-law admitted she doesn't like me. Doesn't like my partner driving me to his family events. Didn't like it took me a month to find employment when I moved to a different town to be with fiance. Fiance receives calls and texts from mother-in-law daily. If he doesn't respond, she blames me. Fiance told her if she doesn't stop this behavior toward me, he will no longer speak with her. I agreed to meet with mother-in-law to smooth things over and try to move forward. Mother-in-law never took me up on it, but things seemed okay for a time. Fast forward to fiance's brother's wedding. Wedding day arrives and we were to be at the venue at 4 p.m. 5 minutes to 2 p.m. Fiance receives call from mother-in-law saying the family photo shoot is in 5 minutes. We hadn't been told of a family photo shoot. Mother-in-law demands we arrive at 2 p.m. for it. We frantically get ready and arrive at the house where the wedding was. There was never a photo shoot planned. Mother-in-law comes out in her PJs and tries to hand me suit shirts to iron. I refused. Mother-in-law snaps at me asking where my son is. He was never coming. He's at the hotel. Mother-in-law continues stating everyone thought he would be there. I respond he was never coming and we are SVP just us. She has been told multiple times he wasn't coming. The ceremony is over and I started to have guests come up to me asking where my son is. I don't even know these people's names. I tell them he's at the hotel. Looks of disgust are thrown at me. My new friends stopped talking to me. I realized these people were being told my son was at the hotel, but not telling them how old he is, teenager. The wedding was a place of ridicule and disgust on me. Christmas Day at mother-in-law house. Her family scurry away from me on arrival, refusing to hug or greet me. One man, whom I had met once 2 years ago, aggressively accused me of leaving my son alone on Christmas Day. Son was at father's place this year. The rumor has continued and now not only does the mill hate me, so do her family. I made up an excuse to announce the fact my son was a teenager whom just finished his first year of high school at the top of his class. Everyone's jaw dropped. None of them knew he is a teen. Am I all hurried out of the room? Now fiance wants to cancel wedding and elope because of mother-in-law. Fiance is demanding I speak with Mill one last time in order for him to cut her off. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to confront mother-in-law and for canceling the wedding? Please leave your comments down below to any of today's stories. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.